Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 26-27. The sin is immediate. The merit is for posterity. 1. Brother Zhang Yi. The resource density here is simply incredible. Lu Ran's excited voice came from the shadow space. She wasn't idle in the shadows. She continued to monitor the fluctuations in the surrounding energy levels and explore resource points. As a result, after entering the Tiantong Tower, all the instruments' readings went off the charts. Brother Zhang Yi, this place contains the entire reserve of the Martian inner world source. Just as we imagined, all the good things are concentrated here. I really don't know what they're going to do with so many resources. Look over there, the rare metal deposit area, the lingbai or vein, and those flowing things I can't name. If we take it all, it'll be enough for us to squander for who knows how many years. Lu Ran was so excited that his voice began to tremble. This was the real treasure. Having gathered the resources of an entire planet, what exactly does it want to do? Do you want to create a superplanetary weapon, or do you want to create a new world? Don't rush to make plans. Yang Xinxin stood beside her, observing everything from the same perspective as Zhang Yi. Her gaze also darkened. The structure of the here is self-circulating, like a living state. Something must be manipulating all of this. Brother Zhang Yi, you need little. Of course I know. Zhang Yi was ready for battle at any time. With the Sky Sea Fortress carried by his 3 super battleships, even if he encountered an opponent of Bai Longzi's caliber, he could escape without any problem. After all, in terms of his own strength, he has mastered a higher level of application of spatial power, and his ability to escape has been elevated to a new level. Even the White Dragon Prince doesn't manipulate him as easily as he did back then. Zhang Yi looked up at the endless upward extending structure, the Taishu bathrobe spreading and contracting on his body like breathing. The second hand ticked quietly. In the 5 seconds he was predicting the future, he could only see the slight tremors of the layers of spatial barriers and could not see the true end. Let's go up. Now that we're here, let's find the ultimate answer. Let's see if the civilization is still alive and why it fell. Guided by Lu Ran, he followed the clearest current forward. Crossing several levels, the terrain beneath my feet changed from metal platforms to damp soil, from cool tones to warm greens. Finally, on one level, the view suddenly opened up. That was an excessively pristine jungle. The canopy of the towering cypress tree reached the sky, vines hung from midair, and flowers bloomed on the steel branches, emitting a faint glow. There is a stream in the forest. The water is transparent, but at the bottom flow miniature runic circuits. A gentle breeze rustled through the leaves, causing them to rub against each other and produce a soft, metallic sound. And in this jungle stands a kingdom. It is not a city-state in the human sense, but a city built by countless mechanical life forms themselves. There were exquisitely crafted, almost human-like mechanical men and women, dressed in replicas of clothes, walking along a forest path, carrying modified lamps, nodding and exchanging greetings with each other. A steel giant, over 10 meters tall, sat cross-legged on a hillside, letting a group of small repair machines glide between his fingers as entertainment. There are also simple, box-shaped creatures with heads that are just round spheres and very simple limbs, even less advanced than Earth's current technology. They slowly and collaboratively moved materials, organized parts, and gathered the old bodies scattered in various places. There was no war between them. Even though they looked different and seemed like products of different technologies from many different eras, they got along very well. Even the ruthless combat machines we saw at the beginning slowed down here. Some squatted by the stream wiping the lenses of small reconnaissance planes, while others transformed abandoned weapons into children's playground equipment, allowing a group of tiny mechanical beings to climb up and jump down. A bizarre, yet almost gentle mechanical kingdom. The mechanical terminals of the Sandstalker civilization created a world of their own. Fatty Sue clicked his tongue. If this were before, I would have thought it was a horror movie. Lu Rant's eyes lit up even more. Brother Zhang, this needs to be integrated with our system. Don't rush. Let's observe for a while longer, Zhang Yi said calmly. The scene before him was too bizarre, and he concluded that these mechanical life forms had existed for an endless, long time. Because there is a gap of at least several thousand years between the earliest generation of mechanical life forms and those that are almost indistinguishable from real people, and even more. He stood quietly at the edge of the jungle for a while, his tissue bathrobe receding until it became invisible, leaving only the dark outline of the demon god armor. He watched this mechanical kingdom operate, watched them imitate life in their own way, and learn to build, share, care for, and unite. These guys actually managed to create children, or small mechanical life forms, by integrating mechanical debris. This was what shocked Zhang Yi the most. They are multiplying and procreating. Mechanical life forms, like intelligent beings, are proliferating. What kind of miracle is this? Is this what the Sand Raider civilization wanted to create? Is enabling silicon-based civilizations to reproduce itself an attempt to challenge the authority of the creator? Seeing this cozy mechanical kingdom, many people's eyes seemed to melt. They couldn't bear to break the tranquility. Zhou Yi lowered her eyes, hesitated for a moment, and then asked Zhang Yi, what do you plan to do? She understood Zhang Yi's temperament, but she still felt that this miraculous country should be preserved. Zhang Yi looked away. Plunder is a must, he said calmly. Conquest is also a must. Zhang Yi never considered herself a kind person. He doesn't mind being a bad person so that those around him can have peace and happiness. This place holds all of Mars' resources. He must obtain it. Only then can he protect those he loves. Everything comes at a price. The benefits of destroying this place were too great. Zhang Yi suppressed the reluctance in his heart and acted as a cold-blooded man. The central structure of the source system here is too dangerous. Looking at the various points of light flickering in the forest, Zhang Yi thought, if one day these things are awakened by the demon god, or taken over by some blind force, the consequences will be even worse than the civil war among the Sand Raiders. He is not a saint. He will not yield to a potential threat, even if this threat is currently living quietly. But these words were more of a form of self-comfort. He needed to find a legitimate reason for becoming an aggressor. The sin is committed in the present, but the merit will last for generations. Zhang Yi said in an icy tone. Chapter 26-28 The sin is immediate. The merit is eternal too. Just as he was about to take a step, a soft light suddenly rippled through the depths of the jungle. That sound was a harbinger of attack, yet also like a gentle invitation. The branches and leaves parted gently, and a figure emerged from the gap between the green light and the metal. She was a silver-haired woman. She was tall and slender, her dress like white mist, and she walked barefoot on the ground where metal and soil intertwined. With each step she took, the surrounding flowers and mechanical parts would gently raise their heads. Her hair was pale silver, cascading over her shoulders, and her eyes were a clear light green, reflecting the outline of the entire kingdom. Her face was beautiful, or more precisely, it was a beauty that resembled that of a mother. It is not temptation, but tolerance. She stopped a few steps away and bent down slightly. Welcome, visitors from Earth. The sound was clear, with a faint echo from afar. My name is Eve, and I am the mother of this mechanical kingdom. Zhang Yi stared at her. His first instinct was not to pull her up, but to quietly perceive her. The second hand of time possesses a natural premonition of killing intent, yet he sensed no killing intent from the body of the person in question. What emanated from her was an extremely complex yet peaceful aura. That is not the cold, logical flow of a program, but rather the care and love that a truly living being radiates towards all things in nature. Zhang Yi remained vigilant, but he politely inquired, "Are you a mechanical life form, or an intelligent being?" Zhang Yi could tell that she was not made of flesh and blood. Although her body looked no different from a human's, it was so beautiful and real that it seemed unreal. He knew that in this world, besides the creator Kagago, the only ones who could truly create destiny were the Ihan clan and the 7 kings of Druk. Ling's human form has a structure that is more intricate than the cells of a 6-person human. Moreover, if Ling were willing, she could even reproduce. But the woman standing before him, Eve, was not that exquisite. Upon hearing Zhang Yi's question, Eve smiled faintly. You could say that. This answer is very vague. A mechanical life form is a mechanical life form, and an intelligent life form is an intelligent life form. Are they both considered? Or is it some kind of intermediate state? Zhang Yi knew exactly how strong Ne was, but he was prepared to turn on him and run away at any time. A humble smile appeared on his face. We come from Earth to seek love and peace. Eve gave him a deep look, but the smile on her face remained unchanged. I know for sure why you've come here. The most crucial factor for the survival and growth of a civilization is the resources needed for its reproduction and development. Zhang Yi felt awkward, but simply said frankly, our civilization's development has reached a bottleneck, so we went into space to search for new resources. Encountering your Sand Raider civilization was an accident. When Eve heard the words Sand Slayers, a look of reminiscence appeared in her eyes. At that moment, Zhang Yi heard Freeman's excited voice. Zhang, ask her if she knows anything about Nasky. There's still a life here. If Nasky is still alive, she'll definitely know. Zhang Yi raised an eyebrow and simply let Freeman come outside. They were in a lush forest, surrounded by abundant trees and foliage, a scene of prosperity and vitality. As soon as Freeman appeared, he eagerly asked Eve a question. Respected lady, you must be a sage left behind by the Sandstalker civilization. Do you know anything about a lady named Nazchi? Eve stared at Freeman, a hint of amusement in her eyes. You are the guest who came from Earth more than 20 years ago. I remember you. Over the years, I have occasionally observed your existence and your voluntary choice to transform from carbon-based to silicon-based materials. I could understand this approach back then. She smiled faintly. It's a pity I am not the descendant of the Sand Raider civilization that you are looking for. I am the new human being they created. A new kind of human? Zhang Yi wasn't too surprised by this statement, but Freeman's eyes widened in surprise and the display screen flickered with complex static. For more than 20 years after arriving on Planet N, he completely severed ties with Earth and knew nothing about anything happening in the outside world. Eve calmly replied, I was created by them. Later, when there were no humans left, only machines, I became the mother in the minds of those mechanical beings in this lost world. Freeman was shocked. What did you say? There are no humans left. What happened to the original race here? Those humans from planet Netherworld. Eve didn't answer his question, but stared at Zhang Yi and slowly asked, Guest from Earth, what do you think is the true nature of fate? As a human being, do you understand? When she asked this question, there was a hint of confusion in her eyes. Then she murmured, Long after I was born, I gained the ability to think for myself. I can feel human sorrow, and I feel sad when I am separated from my mother, who created me. I think I have feelings. I feel that I should be a true life. But they all told me that I am. They said that I exist to help them fight. But later, they abandoned their physical bodies and sealed themselves inside a suspended sphere. So now, is it the spirits who determine fate, or is it me with my body and mind who determines fate? As she asked the question, she looked down at her own breasts. Zhang Yi. He fell into a long silence. Because of this question, he couldn't answer it, and he simply couldn't be bothered to answer it. The ultimate questions of the universe are roughly those three. Who am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? Even the ephemeral race, confused about the meaning of their own existence, ultimately chose to ascend collectively and return to the ether. According to the ephemeral race, everything in the universe is meaningless. Every life form, every race, every individual is merely a manifestation of the ether. It comes from the ether and will ultimately return to the ether. Therefore, the individual life of a person is meaningless. But does Zhang Yi care about any of that? He doesn't care at all. He feels happy as long as he can be with the people he likes. He feels happy as long as he can sit at the dinner table every day, enjoy food, and chat with his family. He felt happy as long as he could enjoy the pleasures of sex with the woman he loved during this energetic age. He'll be happy as long as tomorrow is a sunny day and he can comfortably bask in the sun. So, is the world false? Does it even exist? Or is that true? That and again. Here we end today's chapter. I hope you liked it. Kindly do also subscribe to my gaming channel. I have to Fina a way to survive. Thanks.
Alright, that's it for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises. Thank you.